Good afternoon, all. Can you hear me? My name is Clive Dunn. I'm the Operations Director for Reconnaissance Group. So what's in it for me? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak about security for about 15 minutes, and then my colleague Ian is going to come up and then speak about health and safety in the workplace for the second 15 minutes. And hopefully there can be some collaboration or synergy between ourselves and yourselves, because this is a business-to-business event. So we're selling security and health and safety, and hopefully you've got something that we can buy as well. So what do we already know about security in Ireland or Europe or even in the world? Well, within Ireland, the provision of security within the workplace, within the public sector, we have the ambulance service. If anyone didn't realise, I know anyone in this room that was providing health and safety or first aid, just to my right-hand side here on this side of the room, there's a lovely young lady here providing first aid services. We also have hospitals. If there's an ambulance there, obviously it has to go to the hospital and then provide first aid there. Dublin Fire Brigade are also available within the public sector in the event that there's a fire. On Garda Síochána, Oilig na HÉireann, the Defence Forces, and then all the way up to the airport. And obviously there's a creation of a synergy in the airport because there's a crossover between public and private sector. In order to provide security services in Ireland, you have to be certified with the Private Security Authority, and that's the authorisation body within Ireland. So the public is provided by the guards, the private is provided by the Private Security Authority. If you want to provide services, then you have to be certified. And on the screen there, we have a number of areas that we have certification through. So the top one there, which is static guarding. Reconnaissance Group are qualified and certified to provide security services within static guarding. If you take a look around the circle, work from the right, there's also door supervision, installer of security equipment, locksmith, and all the way around to supplier and installer of safes. So the services that we're going to offer today, if you want that service, come and talk to us on stand B32. But what do you know as an individual? What have you got for you within your personal space? Well, everyone has a mobile phone that's key coded or Face ID. You won't be able to get into that phone unless you have that key code or that Face ID. Well, at home, you'd have an alarm installed, a fire alarm in the event that there's a fire, and then obviously that connected to an installer or someone who will respond, such as the Gardaí or the Dublin Fire Brigade. What about your car? Well, your car has an alarm within inside, and you also have a key-coded key. If you did know an area that you went abroad to, or maybe certain parts of Ireland, well, you would definitely not walk down a dimly lit street. Going abroad, you wouldn't travel abroad without insurance. You wouldn't travel abroad without doing some research into where you're actually going. And then obviously, with there being a military connection, you'd never let an officer have a compass and lead you up into the mountains, and you definitely wouldn't go around the mountains at night without a compass. So for ourselves, Reconnaissance Group was established in 2006 by Mr. Shane Henry in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. And this is where we are mainly operational now. We now have set ourselves up in Ireland in 2017, so this is where we set up our HQ now. We would have been involved in a lot of crisis management. So in Haiti, there's a lot of hurricanes, typhoon season. So in 2010, there was a massive one there that we were involved in. And security and safety is definitely important in times of crisis. In 2012, we established GPS tracking systems, that's global positioning system trackers, and we're the leading market provider in Haiti for this service. This is a service that we can also provide in Ireland, but not as high in demand. In 2015, we established the tactical surveillance countermeasure, and you know the difference between overt and covert types of services. This would be a covert type of service, and again, this is starting to grow now in Ireland. In 2017, as I already mentioned, we established a HQ in Ireland, and we're based around the corner here in Blanchardstown, Unit C6 BIMAC. In 2019 is when we actually established our PSA license, 28 2013, to provide services, and I'm going to lead into them now in a couple of minutes. And in 2020, our market grew, our revenue grew by 30% due to the development of organisational resilience within the company as a consultancy service. And we also won the IRFU contract at this time too. And in this year alone, we have won and been certified through ISO 9001 to provide quality management system. We also provide this for security services and OHS services or courses. We're also a member of the BNI, which is holding an event up here on the top floor. We're members of Grosvenor and Millennium. The industries that we provide this service in: manufacturing, telecommunications, transport and fleet, and then finance. And obviously the countries that we now operate in, the main ones: Papua New Guinea, top left; Ireland, top right; Haiti, lower left; and then the United States of America, lower right. Who am I? Well, I am Clive Dunn, the Operations Director, and I am a veteran. I have six missions overseas. I've been to Lebanon twice, Liberia, Kosovo, Chad, Syria. And when the guys with UNICEF were up talking, I brought back memories to when we would bump into these guys, as well as UNHCR. We'd always meet these guys when we're especially on UN missions. I've done 21 and a half years service to my country, and I know a lot about security, so it seems to be a natural transition from the security sector within public to the private sector. I've been involved in a lot of prison escorts, cash escorts, and again, these are all services now that are provided in the private sector. One of my best experiences was in Syria, because I was platoon sergeant over here and responsible for about 30 odd men. But for the best experiences along Liberia for foot patrolling. My education: I'm a level 8 and a level 7 and a level 8 in Occupational Health Safety, and I'm now a Masters for Security and Risk Management, come to the end of it. But I also have a PSA license as an individual to provide security services. And on the screen there now you have a couple of pictures. Me and my first security event. On the left-hand side, that's me and my first prisoner escort. And on the top right, that's me and my last mission overseas in the Lebanon. Not many people can say they made the front page of the Defence Forces magazine. I'm doing autographs at the end. On the lower right there is a survival exercise that I'm on. I'm also a survival instructor. And that picture there is down to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What do you need? And fire in that case was most important. Some steps to create better security for your business. If you want to look at the screen and then work from the right to your left. So defend, delay, detect, and deter. The simplest way that you can detect, delay, defend, and deter anyone from coming onto your premises is to have a uniformed security guard standing at that door. But if you don't have that, well, then there's a number of things that you can do to protect your assets. Defend them, defend the interior, put up a facade, create some sort of a perimeter. If you want to delay them, well, then put up some sort of doors, partitions, or obstacles. You can detect by using CCTV, also certified and regulated by the PSA. And then you can use the deterrents such as gates or barriers. Well, why am I even telling you this? Well, in 2020, a burglary took place in Ireland every 48 minutes. And in 2020, Dublin accounted for 47% of all burglaries nationwide. This was taken from the newspapers. The controversy began after it was discovered that more than 200,000 999 calls between 2019 and 2020 were cancelled. Cancelled. That means someone didn't respond to an emergency. So if someone didn't respond to an emergency when they called the public sector, well, then they can call someone within the private sector. Reconnaissance Group. So some of the services that we offer for security alone, and if you look at the table above, you'll have static guarding, which is the main one that we provide. Static guarding as a standalone service, but all these other ones: unlock and lock service, emergency response, key holding, and mobile patrol. They're all interlinked, and again, you must have the PSA license to provide these. So what happens is we provide a risk assessment to your premises and tell you exactly which one it is that you need. Our premises are secured also by someone who's installed CCTV, alarms, safes. So we're regulated and we're covered to provide this service to you guys. Some risks involved with not having someone who's qualified to provide security services. It's going to have an impact on your insurance if anything goes wrong. A key holder, if you give a key to someone who's not PSA regulated or doesn't have a PSA license, well, then there's going to be an impact on your insurance, definitely if there's a journey to the premises and something goes wrong. Tailgating, someone coming into your premises that you didn't even know about, and then unaccounted visitors, someone who's bringing in whatever first aid material or hygiene material. Threats that can have an impact on your business are fire, theft, burglary, vandalism, natural disasters, and then violence. And then such dangers that include an intruder on site. So if you respond and you're not PSA qualified, what are you going to do if there's an intruder still on site? Some of the benefits to employing ourselves: you'll save money by eliminating those risks that I just mentioned. You'll have peace of mind. You'll have a timely and accurate response. After all this is being conducted, we'll provide you with a report based on everything that's occurred, and then you'll receive a courtesy call. And then the final slide for myself. These are a couple of the clients that we currently work with. So the IRFU, Wicklow County Council, St Lawrence's and Greystones, Coleman Grimes Estate Agents, and then Impress Promotional Wear. I'll take questions at the end if there's any questions, and remember, I will only answer the easy questions. Ian will answer all the hard questions.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Ian McGill, and as you see on the screen here, I am the Director of Business Development for Reconnaissance. I focus solely on safety and safety services, which includes consultancy and training needs. So a little bit about me. I'm going to leave my skills and my qualifications on the screen there as I talk a little bit about safety and about why it's very, very important to have a good safety management system in your workplace. So where safety really comes into play is by empowering your staff, okay? So if you don't have safety training, you don't have a safety management system, how do people know if they're looking after themselves, okay? The old adage is that a safe employee, a happy employee is a productive employee, okay? So the big thing that we focus on within Reconnaissance is not only having the trainers and the professional staff to actually provide you with the services that you need, but also that our safety management team and our directorship, which includes myself and Clive, are fully qualified in the things that we sell, that we provide. And that's a big focus. So that when we take calls and we take meetings and we attend exhibitions and events like this, we know what we're talking about. We know what we can give, and we know what your business actually needs, okay? The big thing about being in the Defence Forces, as myself and Clive have been, we both actually held the title of Regional Safety Advisor, is that we have been exposed to over 21 different locations within our area and the jobs that were done within those, okay? So that really was transport, admin, medical, fitness, hospitality, pretty much everything that you can think of in the civilian world we have dealt with, we've had exposure to, and we've given advice on within the Defence Forces. So it's very, very important that we understand your business, and what Reconnaissance and Reconnaissance Group really does give is that special skill of knowing about your own business. So I'm just going to talk about non-fatal workplace, non-fatal accidents over the past 5 years. All right, so 2017 to 2021, the number of injuries that were reported to the HSA were just under 44,000. Okay, so when you break that down, that's just under 9,000 per year, 170 odd per week, but 24 per day. So that's every single working day. Within those, on average, there was 24 non-fatal accidents happening in workplaces in Ireland. So why does that matter? Okay, coming into the economic crisis, or as some people call it, going forward over the next couple of months, people are going to get injured. Okay, if you have not got an effective safety management system in your workplace, you could be held liable for those accidents, for those injuries. Okay, so what Reconnaissance Group does, and what we're very, very good at, is coming into your workplace, looking at your area, looking at your tasks, your machinery, your day-to-day operations, and giving you the best comprehensive cover that anybody can give in terms of safety. Safety training, safety consultancy. We run a variety of things which I will go through in a little while. Out of those 43,909 accidents, just over 41,000 of those were employees, people that as employers you have a duty of care for and you are also responsible for. So that's people that you are responsible for that are getting injured in your workplace, okay? Some of these happen by pure accident, okay? Just unfortunately, that's just the nature of the job. But a lot of these, okay, that we see are 100% preventable. Why is that? Because of the top 3 triggers, and mainly the top 1 trigger, okay, which is manual handling. An accident or an incident that involves manual handling, okay, is 100% preventable, okay, and I'll absolutely have a 100% and very engaged argument with anybody who thinks differently. The reason why manual handling injuries are fully preventable is for an accident to happen within a manual handling activity, somebody has to make a conscious effort not to do something right. Whether that be the employee not to follow training, not to follow a manual handling program, or an employer not to provide that training to the employee. So not informing and empowering your employees to make sensible, informed decisions. And that's just not acceptable. The second one there, okay, the biggest issue, or the second biggest issue over the last 5 years has been slips, trips and falls. Okay, and then the number 3 was just other triggers that aren't listed within the HSA guidelines. Okay, so those 3 key things here that are the top 3 causes of workplace accidents are fully preventable. They are things that we do inside of work and outside of work. Okay, so you're going to do these types of things, pardon me, you're going to have a manual handling accident, or you could have one picking your shopping up out of a car, picking your kids up, tidying your house, slips, trips and falls, the exact same. Okay, so these are things that are 100% preventable, and within the workplace, they're inexcusable. Okay, and that's a word that I don't use lightly, but they are inexcusable. At Reconnaissance, okay, I hear the word all too often, tailored, bespoke, and all these types of things that are fantastic if you're building something or you're offering a trade. But within safety, okay, bespoke and tailored are thrown around all too often, okay? Every single business has to identify in a different way. And at Reconnaissance, what we do, we will come into your business, we will have a look at your workstations, we will have a look at your day-to-day operations and give you a very detailed safety management system. We could come in and you may not need anything at all, okay? But it's very, very rare that happens. The reason for this, okay, the reason for that, that people just don't know. Maybe employers haven't got the knowledge, the corporate knowledge, or the budget to have somebody in their workplace looking after safety on a full-time basis. That's something that we offer, okay? That's something that we can come in, we can offer day-to-day packages, we can offer monthly packages, and of course we can have annual packages as well. In 2021 alone, when we were still dealing with COVID-19, the HSA ran a number of campaigns across a number of sectors, okay? So I'm not going to go through them all, but I will just talk about, we'll say something like construction. The number 1 cause of fatal accidents where people lost their lives in 2021, okay, was working at height in the construction industry. So you can see here from this table that the HSA, okay, and this is going on years, it's the same year on year, but the HSA had a specific campaign to look at the downfalls of safety when it comes to working at height in the construction industry. Of course, within manufacturing, food plants, we all heard about different manufacturing plants that have big outbreaks of COVID-19 because of an ineffective safety management system. And again, I will just use the word inexcusable. Across different sectors then, okay, of course we can see in the health and social care sector there, we have COVID-19 that primarily dealt with nursing homes, old age homes, that kind of thing, because of the situation that was happening there and how vulnerable people were to COVID-19 who worked and lived there. But violence and aggression. Violence and aggression is a big thing when it comes to dealing with families, okay? So obviously you can see the crossover between safety and security within that, and that's something that services that we offer, both static guards in nursing homes and other locations in workspaces, but also the training to back up your staff, to give your staff the information, the knowledge and the confidence to deal with situations every day of their work life. So I'm going to just talk a small bit about what we offer when it comes to consultancy, okay? So we all know these terms, risk assessments, safety statements, but when you get down into the weeds of it, what does that really mean? All it is when it comes to safety is information. Information not only for your employees, but also for your directorship, okay? So your management. Making sure that everybody knows that people in the workplace, whether you're an employer or an employee, have legal obligations, okay? So duties, okay? Not just something that you can, oh, I'll do that when I have the money, I'll do that when I have the time. You have legal obligations that you must fulfill as part of your daily life within the workplace. And this is something that we give information on, we give documentation on, all this type of stuff. The thing that we're really trying to get down into now is the safety officer retainer programs that we offer. So if you have an SME, or if you're an employer of an SME and you haven't got the budget to employ somebody full-time as a safety rep or a safety officer, that's something that we can come in hour by hour, day by day, month by month, it's all the same. So what I've used here, okay, is the normal standard courses that majority of people that have worked for any more than 5 years will be involved in or will be aware of. Manual handling, patient handling, working at heights. But what do they mean? Okay, the big thing about the Reconnaissance Group and the way we train is all of our training is not just for the workplace, it's tools for life. okay, you can get just as injured and just as, excuse me, as injured, sorry, taking shopping out of the car, as I said earlier, as you would lifting a box of printing paper in the workplace. So what we really try to focus on is not so much the manual handling, but the postural awareness. So not about what you're lifting, but the area and how you're using your body when you are completing tasks, okay? So that might be sitting as you are now, how to sit correctly, how to stand correctly, how to adjust the chair in your car, the seat in your car, to make sure that you are not being put at risk. And where does that come into play? Where do you get that from? The information that is provided during training. Okay, so that's the big thing here. Anybody has any questions about any of these courses or are unsure about any of these courses? Again, like Clive said, we will take questions at the end. So these are some of the end user or the employee courses that we run. What we also offer, okay, which is very important, is instructor courses. So you're actually really empowering your staff and the supervisors within your businesses to take full ownership of the safety management system. So getting people in that if they know how to use equipment, that they become instructors on how to train other people. There's no point in getting a trainer in who might have 6 months or a year or 2 years experience of teaching a tool when you have somebody in your workplace that could be using that tool for the last 25 years, has seen the accidents, has had the accidents, and knows how to prevent them fully. And it's that type of experience that you really can't buy. And what we provide then is the tools to allow that person to instruct in a variety of settings. As an add-on, of course, we also have our fully FEC approved medical courses like first aid responder, first aid refresher, all that type of thing, to make sure that your staff, God forbid, if somebody has an accident, can be treated on site before the emergency services get there. The big thing we see I've seen over the last 5 or 6 years is employers not knowing what they need to do. They're unsure. Okay, so if you are unsure of what your business needs, because you're not qualified in safety, you don't know about safety, you think of safety as this add-on, okay, as something that you might put onto your business or you might add to your business when your budget dictates, when your profits are up over a certain margin. Okay, again, inexcusable and unacceptable. Okay, so if you are unsure of what your business needs, okay, it's no problem. Get us in. You can schedule a no fee, no obligation, training needs consultation. We'll come in and we'll tell you what you need, okay? And of course, we don't just come in and start dictating. We'll work with you, okay? We'll explain why you need something and you can tell us why you don't need it, and we'll come up with a compromise somewhere along the line. But again, it's just giving people the information that they need to make those knowledgeable and informed decisions. So if you do have any questions, okay, that you don't want to do now or that you don't want to ask now, okay, you can see us. We're at stand B32 just behind you on your left, okay? And if not, if you have to rush off, you can take a snap of the screen there. And we're just around the corner here in the BuyMac Business Centre, and I'll leave our phone numbers on the screen there for a few minutes. So just before we finish up, or before I finish up, does anybody have any questions for myself or Clive? No? Okay, listen, thanks very much. Really appreciate your attention. Thanks very much for sitting down and listening to us, okay? Thanks.